Dolly Rebecca Parton was born on January 19, 1946 in a one-room cabin on the banks of Little Pigeon River in Pittman Center, Tennessee. She is the fourth of 12 children born to Avie Lee Caroline and Robert Lee Parton Sr. Parton's middle name, Rebecca, comes from her maternal great-great-grandmother, Rebecca. Dolly's father, known as Lee, worked in the mountains of East Tennessee, first as a sharecropper and later tending to his own small tobacco farm and acreage. He also worked construction jobs to supplement the farm's small income. Despite her father's illiteracy, Dolly has often commented that he was one of the smartest people she had ever knew with regard to business and making a profit. Dolly often gives credit to her mother for her singing. To entertain her children, during this time there was no power, no television, no nothing, just running water from a spring. So Dolly's mama always had to have some way to keep the children entertained. That's how Dolly says she learned how to sing so well, is that they would all go around the house singing and performing concerts and having any kind of entertaining thing that they could do just to entertain themselves, and their mom was right up in the middle of it, singing in the kitchen or doing anything she could to keep her children entertained. By the age of 10 years old, it was easy to see what Dolly's career was fixing to be, and it was going to be singing or some way into music. So her Uncle Bill politely asked her if she would like to come to Nashville with him and sing on his radio. Dolly, ecstatic, definitely could not leave this opportunity behind. And by age 13, she was recording the single Puppy Love on a small Louisiana label, Gold Band Records. She later appeared on the Grand Ole Opry, where she first met Johnny Cash, who encouraged her to follow her own instincts regarding her career. While she was spending her time in Nashville, she wrote several songs that were later recorded by very well-known artists, including Kitty Wells and Hank Williams Jr. She signed with Monument Records in 1965 at the age of 19. She initially was pitched as a bubblegum pop singer. She released a string of singles, but the one only that charted was Happy Happy Birthday Baby. It did not crack the Billboard Hot 100 though. Although she did express a desire to record country material, Monument resisted, thinking her unique high soprano voice was not suited to the genre. And boy, was these people wrong. After establishing her footprints in Nashville, Dolly came back to Tennessee, where she graduated high school before she came back to Nashville and moved permanently. While in Nashville, though, she later met her husband, Carl Dean. Carl ran an asphalt road and driveway paving business in Nashville for decades. She met Carl on her first day back to Nashville after graduating. She was doing her laundry at the Wishy-Washy laundromat when Carl Dean drove by in his white Chevy pickup truck. He stopped to tell her she was going to get a sunburn in her revealing outfit, then struck up a conversation as she went indoors to fold her clothes. Carl said his first thoughts when he seen Dolly was that I'm going to marry that girl. My second thought was, Lord, she's good looking, and that was the day my life began. I wouldn't trade the last 50 years for nothing on this earth, Carl said. Dolly was surprised and delighted that this tall, handsome man looked her in the face when they were talking, a rare thing for me, Dolly said, and seemed to be genuinely interested in finding out who I was and what I was about. The pair began dating, and Dolly signed with Monument Records shortly after. Dolly's love life and career were on the fast track. When Carl and Dolly got engaged, Carl's mother was excited to plan a big wedding because her only daughter had eloped. Dolly told CMT, sadly, the ceremony of the bride's and mother-in-law's dreams wasn't meant to be. Dolly and Carl Dean got married in Ringo at the Ringo Baptist Church in an elopement ceremony. In 1967, musician and country music entertainer Porter Wagoner invited Dolly to join his organization, offering her a regular spot on his weekly television program, The Porter Wagoner Show, and in his road show. As documented in her 1994 autobiography, initially, much of Wagner's audience was unhappy that Norma Jean, the performer who Parton had replaced, had left the show and was reluctant to accept Dolly. With Wagner's assistance, however, Parton was eventually accepted. Wagner convinced his label RCA Victor to sign her. RCA decided to protect their investment by releasing her first single as a duet with Wagner. That song, a remake of Tom Paxton's The Last Thing on My Mind, released in late 1967. It reached the country top 10 in January of 1968, launching a 6-year streak of virtually uninterrupted top 10 singles for the pair. Parton's first single for RCA Victor, Just Because I'm a Woman, was released in the summer of 1968 and was a moderate chart hit, reaching number 17. For the next 2 years, none of her solo efforts, even in the good old days when the times were bad, which later became a standard, were as successful as her duets with Wagner. The duo was named Vocal Group of the Year in 1968 by the Country Music Association, the CMAs, but Dolly's solo records were continually ignored. Wagner had a significant financial stake in her future. As of 1969, he was her co-producer and owned nearly half of the Opar, the publishing company Dolly had founded with Bill Owens. By 1970, both Parton and Wagner had grown frustrated by her lack of solo chart success. Porter persuaded Dolly to record Jimmie Rodgers' Mule Skinner Blues, a gimmick that worked. The record shot to number 3 followed closely in 1971 of February that year by her first number 1 single, Joshua. For the next 2 years, she had numerous solo hits, including her signature song, Coat of Many Colors, was number 4 in 1971. In addition to her duets, top 20 singles, including The Right Combination and The Burning the Midnight Oil, both duets with Wagner, 1971, Lost Forever in Your Kiss with Wagner, Touch Your Woman, 1972, My Tennessee Mountain Home, and Traveling Man in 1973. Although Dolly's solo singles and Wagner's duets were successful, her biggest hit of this period was Jolene. Released in late 1973, the song topped the charts in February of 1974 and reached the lower regions of the Hot 100. It eventually also charted in the UK, reaching number 7 in 1976, representing Parton's first UK success. Dolly, who had envisioned a solo career, made the decision to leave Wagner's organization. The pair performed their last duet concert in April 1974, and she stopped appearing on his TV show in mid-1974. Although they remained affiliate, he helped produce her records through 1975. The pair continued to release duet albums, their final release being 1975's Say Forever You'll Be Mine. In 1974, before she left Porter Wagner, she wanted to write a song that he would always remember her by, and she would always remember him. That's when she wrote the song I Will Always Love You. It was the song about her professional breakup with Wagner. Since leaving the Porter Wagner show, Dolly throughout the decades has released hit after hit, some going number 1 and some just being remarkably remembered. The song after songs were released, and Dolly has even been known to be in movies and TV shows. She has truly become an iconic person to where anytime you hear the word Dolly, you automatically think of Parton. She has even been iconically remembered in her amusement park, Dollywood, from where I've got to meet a lot of her family members. They're as humble as can be, I can sit here and tell you. I met her Uncle Bill. He is good as gold. He was super sweet and super kind, and I still remember to this day being just a little bitty baby and telling him how good and how well he sung while he was up there singing and performing with Dolly. I've even got to meet her cousin. I've also got to see Dolly herself, but I've never met her. The only time I've ever seen her is her waving around the trains and stuff that were passing by and her filming a commercial. No matter truly wherever you see Dolly, she always makes you feel down to earth, and you can truly feel how humble she is. And I know I just keep saying truly, 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 but it's the truth. Dolly is one of them people that you see her and she almost feels like an aunt, and she just feels like she's part of your family. I mean, she don't feel like she's too high and up for anybody. She's always down to earth anytime you see her, and her family's the same way. So it was a great opportunity to sit here and be able to talk with you guys and to share a little bit about Dolly's life. I hope one day if I ever get as popular as Dolly, I have the same attitude and motive. She showed everybody that growed up in poverty that you could truly get from rags to riches, and it would all work out. God always has a plan, and Dolly's seen hers through. So the next time you worry that if you have a plan for your life, you do, just look at Dolly's.